So now we've had a little bit of fun with ads. I want to take you to a new section, and I want to show you inside of Ads Manager. There's a section. If you go to All Tools, click on this and go to All Tools, you're going to notice a little section over here called Audiences. This is there's actually two places: Audience Insights and Audiences. Okay, so just make reference of Audience Insights and Audiences. These are places you're going to do some research. So let's jump over here to Audience Insights, and this is a place where you can just kind of come in here and you can start to do some research on whatever audience you're really looking to kind of get into. So if I've got a man cave site, I need to start doing some research on, what kind of keywords are people interested when it comes to man caves. I mean, I have no idea, right? So if I've got this site, this man cave site or whatever, and I've got a man cave fan page and I've got all this stuff going on, I need to try to figure out what keywords are people interested in. So I'm going to go over here to interest. I'm inside of Audience Insights, and there's just a lot of stuff I can do. Okay, I can add countries, United States. I can mess with ages and genders. Let's say it's 21 to any age. Men. Let's go in here to men. And what's interesting is you can really dive in a lot here. But let's go to interest. We just typed in an interest. Connections is just if they're connected to one of your pages. You don't need to worry about that. Advanced, you can really kind of dive in and get even deeper. We're not going to dive into all this, but what you really are looking to do is just kind of go in here and start to see a little bit about your audience. So United States men 21 and over that are interested in man cave. Okay, there is 1 million to 1.5 million monthly active people. Okay. So this will kind of give you an example. Like, let's delete this man cave one and let's type in like billiards or something like that. So billiards itself, and there's all these different types of billiards keywords, right? So billiards themselves has all of these. So rack billiards, pool cue sports. Okay, you can kind of try to find like the right one. Pool cue sports. So like this. 4 million to 4.5 million monthly active people that are men 21 and above. So even though my audience is man cave, on my man cave site, I might have a category, and my category might be, there's all kinds of cool stuff I could do, right? So I might have one section that's like billiards, that I really have a bunch of like billiard stuff, because a man cave might have a pool table in it. So then I can go, and a man cave might have like motorcycle stuff or whatever. So you start to think of all the different types of things that could be here. So let's start with billiards. Man cave, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start kind of brainstorming, if you will. So let's kind of go in here. Let's example man cave. Let's do interest man cave, and then let's do interest billiards. Okay, and then here's what I want to do. I want to have some fun with you guys that are live. So what I'm doing is I have a site that's about man cave. I need to find some good interests that people would be interested in, things people would be interested in. What associations might they join? What might they be interested in? What TV shows might they watch? What might these men be interested in that has as much to do with man cave as possible? So right now, what I want you to do is go inside the comments. If you're watching live, go inside the comments and give me some examples of interests of what your man cave audience might be interested in, and I'll type them in and we'll look at it. Now, while you guys are giving me those live on the spot, I can also kind of see people that are interested in billiards, pool, cue sports. Look at some of this other stuff they're interested in, right? So you got all these lifestyle things that they're interested in, their relationship status, their education, their job titles. You go over here to page likes, okay? And you can start to learn, you can start to dive in your audience. People that are interested in billiards, it's not giving me whatever reason. It should give me more. There's a problem loading this chart. Well, normally you can go in here and you can actually see what pages they also like. I have no idea why it's deciding at this exact moment not to show me these page likes. Okay, so let's go down here to interest, pool, cue sports. Yeah, it's just going slow, huh? Whatever. It's deciding, this is deciding to go very, very, very slow for me, so sorry about that. But yeah, you can start to see all kinds of stuff about them. Like, you can start to see, okay, people that are interested in pool are also interested in things like FanDuel, the website FanDuel, okay, or Garage Valvoline, 8-ball pool, World Series of Poker. So now I'm starting to think, what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to get ideas. Okay, so interests, poker, interest, let's say, let's say interest, do-it-yourself projects, okay? Interest, and you can start to see like what are things people are interested in. So let me go over to your comments right now, live in the questions, and let me see. Okay, here's what some of you guys are doing. Let's say beer, home brewing, okay, interest. Let's see what else you guys got. Fantasy football. Okay, let me just stop putting the interest here. You guys get it, right? So we'll do man cave instead. What we'll do is we'll do it like this. Hold on, let me make this a little bit neater for you guys to get a little bit of a better. So what we're doing is we're brainstorming right now, deep diving on interest. So what I want to do is this. Man cave has these, and we'll dive in further. If one of these has a breakout section, we'll do something like that. Okay. So fantasy football. Let's see what else you guys got for me. Okay. You got muscle cars, video games, cigars, and then somebody says humidors. That's in the cigars field. Daniela, yes, what you're writing is showing up. Hunting. TV shows. Let's do TV shows here. You guys said pawn stores, or whatever that TV show is called. So if you guys have more stuff there, okay, gambling. For poker, World Series of Poker. Let's do electronics, then televisions, and then home theaters. You guys see how fun this gets? When you kind of get into it, it gets really, really fun. Sports, you got football, baseball, basketball, hockey, etc. And then for football, you have things like fantasy football. Here's that up there. Okay, got NASCAR. For video games, you also have arcade games, pinball games, beer pong games. I'm just going through a lot of your stuff that you're doing. Sports. There's also. Let's just do another category called hobbies, and that's what I'll put: hunting, fishing. Try to get like man. You're trying to get like man hobbies, not just. Of course, men in general are interested in a lot of hobbies. Okay, so fishing, pool, cue sports. That's billiards. Okay, which we had right there. And then we could put poker down there. Hobbies, poker, World Series of Poker. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here? What I'm doing is I'm basically making a brainstorm list. Okay, so now what I've got is examples of audience. So what you're doing is you're brainstorm as many ideas about your niche as you can. Organize them into categories on your store. Fill them with general products to sell in each category. And then deep dive to find good interests in each keyword. Okay, so that's what you're using this term that's what you're using this audience insights for. But once you've dove in and you've kind of start to do your research, once you start to see all this kind of stuff that people are interested in, you start to get more ideas. Once you've got the ideas, what I want you to do is I want you to come over to the other audience tool. Go over to this one, audiences. Not audience insights, but audiences. This is where you're actually going to create audiences. Okay, so over here, you're going to come in here and you're going to create audiences. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to create audience, and you're going to do create saved audience. Create audiences, create saved audience. Now in this one, we're going to go ahead and do let's do pool, cue sports, general, pool, cue sports, general, or big. Okay, let's do pool, cue sports, big. Okay, so we're going to start really, really big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just US. Maybe I'll do big US. Okay, and I'm going to go 21. And the reason this is a man cave, we're going to be talking a lot about beer and a lot about that kind of stuff. I don't want to run any risk with 18 and under. Men 21 years older in the United States, and then detailed targeting right here. Let's type in pool Q sports. Okay, and there's an interest, and let's just go broad right off the bat. So here's 5.9 million, 6 million people. In fact, let me rename this. Audience name, let's go Man Cave Pool Big US Men 21 plus, and then maybe how big the audience size is. Now, before I do that, I'm going to go in, I'm just going to add a bunch of these. When I typed in pool Q sports, all I got to do is click my mouse here, and it's going to start recommending more interest to me. Billiards, 8-ball, 9-ball, Q sports, pool billiards games, billiards tables, billiard ball. See this? Billiard room, cue sticks. So I'm going to go in, and if I'm not sure, I might have to do a little bit of research as to how many of these are really good or not. Pool and Billiard Magazine, World Pool Billiard Association, World Professional Billiards Association. You guys, by the way, we've already, just by doing this, we've already dove into like level 3 niches here. These are great ones. Women's Professional Billiards Association. Now, that's women. We're targeting men, but still, you can choose it because it doesn't matter. We're narrowing it down to men anyways. United States Professional Pool Players Association, International Billiards Snooker Federation, Billiards Digest Magazine, 3 Cushion Billiards. Now, look what happens. So what I'm doing is I'm using this as a big generic audience. Billiards Congress of America. I don't know if that's, see, I don't even know if that's it. So I'm only going to choose things I know for now. USA Pool League, a Q Company, World Pool Master. So what's happening is I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to get so many interests here. Okay, so many. Billiards Federation, Playing Pool, 8-Ball Association, PoolDog.com. So now you can start to see there's just so many. Ozone Billiards. And now I can really, if I want to, I could even do some research. What I might do is I might go over here to Google, and I might type in billiards brands. And let's look at this one here. Okay, pool cues by brand. Action cues, Atom cues, Athena cues. So what I'll do is I'll go back now and see what happens if I do that. Action cues. See what's there? Nope. So you can kind of just go in and go, okay, what were the other ones? Atom cues, Athena cues, Q-Tech. Okay, so you can kind of go and see if there's any of these. Athena cues, Q-Tech, and you kind of go. And it doesn't matter if there's not. These might be small brands. Okay, you can go in and you can do like, I don't know, Harley Davidson cues. Who knows? You can maybe go through here, but this is how you start doing even more research. I don't know enough about this to know what the big brands are, so I don't think I'm going to jump right into this. But eventually, this is how you can start to find them. And another way to find them is to start doing this too. Cues. Okay? You can just start to type in right here, cues. I don't know why it's not doing that. Let's narrow down the audience. Go. Cues. Predator cues. See this? And then there's just a bunch more. So anyways, you guys get what I'm saying, right? What you're essentially looking for is a big audience here of all kinds of people interested in pool. And then as soon as you have like your audience and it's pretty good, go over here, do 6.7 million and put it right there. So now I've got Man Cave, which is my store, category pool, or I might want to do billiards if it's easier for me to remember, in case I might have swimming pool stuff. Billiards, big, just mean that might be my keyword for, hey, this is my broad one, or broad. US men 21 to 65, 21 to 65 plus 6.7 million people. So now I've got this big, broad audience, okay? And then create audience. And that's it. I just created that audience. It's right here. Man Cave, billiards, broad, US men, 21 plus, 6.7 million people. Now that I have that audience, literally anytime I want, I can just come here and I can actually create an ad from it, okay? There's a lot of stuff I can do, okay? I can go and I can create an ad from this, okay? 6.7 million people like that, okay? So that's pretty cool. I can just go here and I can literally create an ad and it's going to automatically bring in that audience. Now, not only will it automatically bring in that audience if I want to create an ad this way, so let's go back to boost your posts, do the same thing. Let's do Man Cave, let's do billiards table, billiards table. Let's say I'm selling a billiards table. Let's do billiards keywords as the audience. Continue, and then watch what happens here, okay? what's going to happen is I'm going to be able to use a saved audience. Okay, all of these different audiences right here. And look at this one on the bottom. Oh, my screen's kind of flipping out. Oh, it's not letting me choose it. Oh no, my screen is tweaking. Oh, but you can see it. Man cave, it's right there on the bottom. I don't know why my screen is tweaking right now. You never know. Right there. I had to make my screen smaller for a minute. I have so many audiences. Use a saved audience. And look at this, it brought it all in. There's my audience. I can use it anytime I want. Now this is a big audience, right? This is my big broad audience because why did I do this? Because now I know all of these individual keywords, right? So now that I know all these individual keywords, I can go in, I can create like detailed ads for this. I can go back to audiences and I can go and create a new audience if I want to. Saved audience, and I can do any one of these keywords. Okay, I can go in here. Whoops, messed up there. I'll go back to audiences. Date created. Okay, man cave. So just like this audience right here, if I even want to now, I can edit this, and I can go and I can actually create even more audiences. Okay, so watch this. From this main audience, I go in and edit. Now watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to narrow it down by, let's call it, narrow it down by one of these. World Pool Billiards Association. Okay, and by narrowing it down a little bit, I just got to 2,900 people instead of whatever million, right? 2,900. So I'm gonna try to get this now. I've got all these big ones, and now what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to go up. I'm gonna keep adding associations until I get up to about 200,000 to 800,000. Okay, World Pool Billiard Association. Let's keep adding them. United States, you can kind of see these are small ones, 6,900. I'm looking for, let me just add a few more. American Pool Player Association. Okay, let me add some smaller ones. Where am I at? 86,000. I'm looking to get to 200,000, 800,000 here. Okay, so I'm just going to keep doing like magazines and associations, not like playing billiards. Magazines and associations, right? So I'm going to kind of look for some more, whatever it might be, and I'm just kind of going with what they're doing. Now I might even do like billiards magazine and see if it comes up. Okay, there's that way to do it. There's also, I can look up here and I can kind of look at some of these ones that I have up in this one up here. International billiards, maybe, so I can type international billiards. United States billiards, so United States pool players. You can United States pool, and you can kind of see what else is in there. You know, you could do pool players, and you start to get a way to be able to dive in deep. You know, pool players. But what you're really looking for is you're looking for big words. That's essentially what I'm looking to do here. Is I'm looking to kind of see. So maybe what I'll do is I'll give you an example. Let's see. Let's do pool and billiard. Pool and billiard. That's like another one I could do. Pool and billiard. Sorry, but the and symbol might be an exact match. Pool and billiard. Pool and billiard history. Not a bad one. 8-Ball League Association. So there's all kinds of cool ones, but you don't want to do this one. 72 million. That'll bring it up too much. Okay, so here I'm at 90,000. So with a little bit more work, I can get there. Okay, with a little bit more work, maybe I'll grab Ozone Billiards, see how high that gets to 100,000. Let me maybe grab a couple more. Looking for something over here on the right. I'm looking for something good. Billiards Congress of America. Brought me up to 110,000. You see, I'm really just trying to get it to about 200,000. So this is the thing. This is how you deep dive. You know, I'm looking for something over here that has maybe 100 to 200,000. Okay, so scroll down really quick. That has too many. 1.8 million. 13,000. Mustang Pool Table. Brunswick Billiards. Get a couple more of these. World Masters Pool Tournament. Maybe Shooting Pool. 120,000. So you see, I'm working my way up. And now what I'm doing is I'm really creating this like sub-audience. Let's just do this one. Now save as new. Now watch this before I save as new. This one right here is now 120,000. And so Man Cave Billiards. And now this one's going to be mixed. Man Cave Billiards mixed. Or I might do like whatever it is, magazines, or whatever my sub-niche was, or whatever. men 21 plus, 120,000 people. So now I have at a glance 120,000 people, and I'm going to go save as new. Okay? And just like that, save. There you go. Save that as new. And you can kind of go, and you can kind of see now, I've got my man cave billiards mixed, and I've got my man cave billiards broad. So what this allows me to do is this allows me to create one big audience, use that as a guideline to create lots and lots of small audiences between like 200,000 to 800,000 people, which are going to be my target audiences, and I'm going to really get creative. And that's just for, so I've got man cave billiards. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and keep doing the same thing again, but this time it's going to be man cave instead of man cave billiards. And if you don't want to do the renaming convention, it's actually really easy to do this. Just click on this one, and then click edit. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this one something new. Man cave, instead of billiards, let's do man cave. Let's go back to our list really quick and see some of our words. Let's do man cave. Let's do man cave home brewing. Okay, so now I'm back here again. Man cave home brewing. Okay, and then we're going to do broad, U.S. men 21. We don't know what the total is going to be yet. So now I've got a new man cave home brewing. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out all these by hitting the X at the top. And I'm going to take out all these by hitting the X at the top. And now I've got 21. So I've got the same naming convention, but I'm on the bottom, I'm just going to save it as a new. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go broad. So I'm going to get as many things as I can related to home brewing. Same thing. I'm going to type in home brewing, choose interests, and then start going through this. Craft beer, craft beers, craft beer and brewing, microbrewery, craft brews, brewery, you know, and I might even go, you know, the question is how close do I want to do home brewing, or do I want to do, maybe I want to do just beers broad, or maybe I want to do craft beers. Now that I'm looking at it, I might want to go craft beers, craft. And so I can leave all these in here, and then what I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to take out anything that's not craft beer. I'm going to leave these in here, try to find more craft beer related terms. I love craft beer, kind of go and look for anything with craft. And do a big craft beer locator. It doesn't matter if these are small. Just looking for things that are craft beer related. Okay, so I've got a bunch, right? Now what I'll do is I will, see this is a purchasing behavior, I'm going to take that out. I only want interests. Interest. Now I'm going to take out anything that's not craft beer. Craft, right? So this is behavior, so I don't want that. Now let's see what happens if I just type in craft beer. Ladies of Craft Beer, American Craft Beer Week. So let's just start grabbing a bunch of these. Craft beer, American Craft Beer Week. See, now I'm starting to get into really diving down to these small ones. These are going to come in handy when you're really looking to target. Because see, look at all these weeks, Craft Beer Week. These aren't going to make up many audience, but if you add them all to a thing, right? So let's even do like Craft Beer Week, Chicago Craft Beer Week. And you can always take this out later. So if this is getting in your way, it's bothering you can always do that. And right now I'm just pasting really fast. Craft Beer Week. Okay, so let's see what else we got for craft beer. Connecticut Craft Beer News. Tacoma Craft Beer Festival. So now you see what they're doing, great tasting craft beer interest. Even though these are small, I'm going to add them in because they're just helping me, you know, they're helping me find more things. Okay, so I pretty much, for the most part, maxed out craft beer keywords here. Now I'm going to take out this one, and let's see what the audience is. 530,000 people. Okay, so craft beers, broad, 530,000 people. Man cave craft beers broad, men 21 plus, 530,000 people. That's all craft beer stuff. Save it as a new. Save. And then let's go back to our audiences. And there's their Man Cave Craft Beers one. Okay, so let's click on this. Let's edit it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new one. So that's Man Craft Beers Broad. Now let's do like maybe something like this. Like go to Google and do craft beer brands. Okay, so now 100 American craft beers lovers should drink. So maybe, you know, something like that. Maybe we'll do like popular craft beers. So you can start to see, you know, the best beer from America's 50 biggest craft breweries. So maybe what I'm looking for is the big ones because they might have an actual following and an actual interest. Okay, so now I can kind of go in here and I could do this one. I can do, I could dive in and go deep and create these audiences. This is before even placing ads. Now I'm going to do craft beer brands broad. Okay, I'm going to erase this because I don't know what the audience is going to be yet. Craft beer brand. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ditch all this, and I'm going to do detailed targeting, and I'm going to start taking some of these right here, like Yingling Brewery. Okay, so now I'm going to go here and I'm going to do Yingling, and I can start to see. I don't know enough to know if DC Yingling and Son is the one. So let's d.g.yingling. So I'm going to have to do a search because I don't know enough about this, right? d.g.yingling is probably the one. It looks like it is. It's showing up, d.g.yingling. So that's just the official name for it. So yes, that is the one. Okay, so there we got d.g.yingling and Son. So now we have Yingling as a brand there. Now look what happens. It's going to start showing us brewing companies. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into these brewing companies, and I could even title this, instead of craft beer, I could actually do, if I want to, I could do brewing companies, or I could do craft beer brands. Sorry, I could do craft beer brands, or I could just do brewing companies. Now in this case, if I knew more about what craft beer is, like I know Stone Brewing Company is a craft beer, you want to make sure you don't get too generic. I don't know if Sierra Nevada is a craft beer, for example. So if you're going to do craft beers, you're going to need to know which one of these are legit. So that's where having a list like this is helpful. Boston Beer Company. So now what I can do is I can do a little bit more like this. Boston Beer. And maybe that's Samuel Adams is probably what the Boston Beer Company is. And then you got Sierra Nevada. So Sierra Nevada is. And so there it was, Sierra Nevada. And, these are all probably, at the end of the day, these are all probably, I don't drink enough right now craft beer to know, but let's just say these all are. And so you see you got a little bit of research. Next thing you know, you're adding all these breweries and all these brewing companies. Okay? Now, you could even go as far as to do a search for brewing company and then highlight and copy that. And so every time you add one, you can actually just press paste, add one, paste, add one, paste, add one, paste, add one, paste, and then you can do that. And then you can go through and either delete ones that are not craft beer or whatever, but you could also just do these as like brewing companies to make it even simpler. Brewing companies, broad, okay? So just like that, you got all these brewing companies, same thing, brewing company. Look at how many I can grab. Just look at how deep of an audience I'm going to be able to get by doing this. See what I'm doing? I'm just going to keep doing this. Brewing company, I'm going to grab all of these that end with brewing company right here. Only the, these are employers. So I don't want to dive into employers now. Just interests. So it looks like I tapped out the interest for brewing company. Now let's go down to brewing co, which I see some of these have. Founders Brewing Co. Okay, so Brewing Co. dot is going to bring up all of these now. So now let's go in and let's add in all of these. Paste. See what I'm doing here? I'm really showing you guys a detailed way to be able to do this. This is like the smart way. And notice I'm not even placing ads. What I'm doing is I'm building my audience. I'm building a bunch of audiences that I can start to really dive into my niche. And ultimately, you're going to want to learn this stuff because this is how you deep dive. And this is the difference between amateurs and pros when it comes to Facebook ads. Now, I'm not even going to do like an ad to this whole entire thing. You'll see when you dive down and you make small audiences. What your goal is your goal is to get many audiences. Like, look at how I'm doing here. Look at how cool this is. I just grabbed all of these. Okay. Now, no more showing up. Now I could even probably do like brewery. I mean, who knows? I mean, I could go even deeper, but like just right here. Look at all of these interests I just got. Okay, it'll take up to 30 minutes to calculate the size. So they're not wanting to give me the size. So I don't know the size yet. I'm just going to put question, 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 and I'll get that later. So now I've got brewing companies, Man Cave Brewing Companies broad. Okay, save as new. Save. It's just so cool. Now size looks like it might be 530,000. We'll have to go back and we'll have to see. Nope, 2.6 million. So now that that's 2.6 million, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to edit this and make it 2.6 million. Update. Okay, you guys see where I'm going with this? Man Cave can now have like an unlimited amount of audiences here. Okay, Man Cave, Man Cave, Man Cave. Look at this. And now what I'm doing is I get these broad audiences like 6.7 million, and I'm going to drill it down to a bunch of audiences that are like 200,000, 800,000, or whatever. And then I'm going to go with brewing companies, 2.6 million, and I'm going to drill it down to a few audiences that are 200,000, 800,000. I'm going to keep doing this. So I've got the broad audience, and then I've got little audiences. And I'm going to do this for really every single category that I have in my Man Cave site, because this is going to allow me the opportunity to be able to have a full arsenal of advertising potential. This is what's going to make me an advanced player in the game, and it's going to really help me. And so now anytime I want, like I said, all I got to do is create an ad and boost the posts, example, and it's going to be right here, saved audience, bam, right on the, you scroll all the way down the bottom, there's all your Man Cave audiences, okay? Again, it's doing my little tweak thing, which kind of sucks. I don't know why it's doing that. There it is. Now I can see it. So then I can choose, like, look at all these audiences, Man Cave, Man Cave, Man Cave, Man Cave. I can choose any one of these I want at any time and use it just like that. Okay? Pretty cool. So that right there is really how to be able to find audiences that convert like crazy.